All right, welcome back. We continue live right here on Pittsburgh CW. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel. Bob Pompeani, along with Andrew Fillipponi. Pony, real quick before I go to the lines, I want to ask you about the college basketball season, which will be starting here before too long. The NCAA tournament has already taken a preemptive strike and said that the NCAA tournament is going to be in a bubble. They don't want to lose two of them in a row. But I'm curious your thoughts about whether or not you can even get to that point. We've seen a number of college football games canceled. What about basketball? Can they survive all the way to a March Madness?
I don't know if they can survive all the way there. They've got to be very flexible. And I think the only way to make it work is if you don't have really, in terms of, how you get to the finish line from a competitive standpoint, you want to be very strict with obviously the safety and health protocols. But as far as what the criteria is to crown a champion, I think you got to be very flexible because we're already seeing games canceled. I mean, you're going to have maybe some teams, Bob, play 25 games. Other teams might only play 10. I mean, so you've got to, I think, be very open-minded to what you do this year. Maybe it's more than 68 teams. Maybe it's less. Maybe conference tournaments are more important. Maybe they're less important. I don't know. I don't think we know the answer right now. This is one of the few times I would say this. Usually I like when the rules are established before the season starts. That way everybody knows what they're signing up for, what it takes to win. But I think in this specific case, in this year, you might have to change things on the fly. And as long as there's open communication and dialogue between all the conferences, then I think they should find a way to crown a champion.
Well, we've seen that a lot in all sports. We've even seen it in college football. And on that note, Pitt today, they found out through the ACC that their game against Georgia Tech, which was postponed until December the 12th, is going to be moved back to Thursday night, 7 p.m. on December the 10th. Let's go to the lines, 412-575-2600. We have Nancy in Tarentum joining us. What's up, Nancy?
Hey, Nancy.
Hi, how you guys doing tonight?
Hi, Nancy.
We're good.
Hey, I talked to you last night, Bob, about my sister in Jacksonville, and I told her you said about them being the Jacksonburg. She told everybody, they said thank you. They love that.
Well, I think that's what I heard. All right, thanks, Nancy. Tell your sister hello. When we were down there to do a preseason game, a couple of times actually, that's what I saw everywhere, Jacksonburg. There were a lot of Berg fans in Jacksonville, so I guess that sticks. Let's go out.
That's been a bugaboo team, Bob. That's been a team that's been a little tricky thorn in the side of the Steelers. I think of guys like Fred Taylor and Rashean Mathis and David Garrard. It seems like Leonard Fournette.
More than anyone, David Garrard. That play, of all the plays, Taylor going over 230 yards rushing, everybody remembers that. But Garrard still sticks in my mind as a play that needed to be stopped, and it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, those guys, the cast of characters have changed a lot there, but for whatever reason, whether they're good or bad, they always seem to give the Steelers a hard time.
All right, let's go to Mike in Oakland. Mike is joining us right now on the Fan Hotline. What's up? On the Fan Hotline, the Board of Supporters Hotline.
How you doing?
What's up?
Hey, Mike.
Hi, guys. I want to ask you a quick Pitt question and then just make a comment about Big Ben and get your thoughts. So my Pitt question is, do you think that Pickett's going to get drafted in the NFL draft next if he declares, which he probably will? I don't think he will. I don't think he's good enough. I think he'll be undrafted, maybe invited to a camp, but I don't see him being drafted. And the second question or comment about Big Ben I want to mention is, here's the thing, and I know you guys, maybe especially Bob, is not going to agree, but I mean, I think Ben's definitely in the top 10, but he can't throw the ball downfield anymore with any kind of accuracy. You guys,
did you watch the last game?
Listen.
43 yards right on the money, or 46 yards right on the money.
One pass in 9 games, Bob. I mean, you guys are making it seem like he found his touch.
What has Daniel Jones done for you? Why is Daniel Jones ranked high?
Because he has running ability. He can.
He also turns the ball over like 3 times a game. That doesn't count to you?
I agree. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is better than Big Ben. Big Ben can throw the 15-yard touchdown pass with ease, and he knows how to dink and dunk. But I think his long game needs improvement, and I'll let you guys talk. All
right. Well,
I think it needs to get better. I don't think it's been the strong point of his game this year. But
it hasn't for Tom Brady either. Tom Brady's the master of the dink and dunk. That's what it is. Sure. That's a system that they use.
So is Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. I mean, these quarterbacks now, these older ones especially, are more short, intermediate passes. As far as the 35-plus guys go, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the one who separates himself and probably is the most accurate deep ball right now. I think for Kenny Pickett, the post-season draft process is going to be very important for him because I think you can make the argument that this offense was really not tailor-made to bring out the best of his abilities. And so the way he tests, I don't know if he'll get invited to the Senior Bowl, but things like that, the interviews, the combine, the personal workouts, I think that'll go a long way for him, Bob. I don't see an NFL quarterback. He actually reminds me, in terms of his temperament and his style of play, he reminds me a lot of Tyler Pelko. I mean, they're both gamers. They're both guys that were really tough quarterbacks, but I don't know if they necessarily have the arm strength and the skill set to excel at the NFL level.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I do think he'll get an opportunity somewhere, as many undrafted guys do. But that'll depend on what happens. I think that's a good point you bring up, all the stuff that goes on after the season. All right, let's go to Dale in Brooklyn. What's up, Dale?
Hey, Dale.
Good afternoon, or I mean evening. How you guys doing?
Or good morning, wherever you are.
Okay. In any event, the discussion last week I thought was race drivers aren't athletes. Well, I have some experience. I was in Vegas and went to Richard Petty Driving School and drove an actual NASCAR race car in 115-degree heat in a full driving suit, helmet.
Okay.
In that car.
What's the point here, Dale? We only have so much
The
time.
point is, okay, they aren't athletes. I got in that car after the first 10 laps, and I was spent. Just felt like I went 12 rounds with Mike Tyson.
Well, you never heard me say anything about anybody who competes in any sport. If they're competing, to me, they're an athlete, and I include golfers in that. I know a lot of people out there don't agree with that, but in order to do what they do, you have to be athletic. That's just my take. You want to add anything to that, Andrew, or do we go on to the next caller?
No, we can move on. I mean, there are some golfers that don't exactly personify athleticism. Like when I see Shane Lowry, I don't exactly think to myself, there's a great athlete right there. But then I see Brooks Koepka and Tiger Woods in his prime, and I think he probably could have played another sport if he wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I don't judge it based on whether or not they look like they could play another sport. I judge it on the fact that they're competing, and I think the mental aspect of sports is very much a big part of it that people don't even talk about. So anyway, time for our Tri-State Office Furniture Tweet of the Day, and this comes to us from our good friend Jerome Bettis. He's a happy man these days, Andrew. Do you know why? Because his teams are doing very well.
Because he's the boss, and he's the man.
He's the boss, a Hall of Famer, a gold jacket, but also because, quote, my teams combined 17-0. TBT, Steelers, and D. That's right. Combined 17-0. He's feeling pretty good right now. We'll talk more about that and other stuff when we come back. You're watching the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on Pittsburgh CW.